Sup, it's NY3 again. This video is going to be finishing off Hikarinaki past combos. So again, it's without Beatrice. This time we're going to go back to Klee era. The main things that the Hikarinaki deck had back then was access to triple Mathematician, triple Soul Charge. It also used Carbonatin at that point in time, as well as Level Eater. So to kick things off, we're going to show what we could do with the addition of a Level Eater in the graveyard. So for this combo, we have a Level Eater in the graveyard. Could be due to Foolish Burial or some other means. And in addition to that, we are going to start off with the standard 3 Hikarinaki combos, which we have seen in previous videos, except the difference is we have the Level Eater in the graveyard. So let's see what additional things we can do with this hand. So to start things off, they have a monster. We're going to special summon the Tefnuit. Gonna tribute the Tefnuit, summon the Su. Tefnuit triggers, and the summons Labradorite from our deck. Su, at this point you can tribute the asset in your hand, and this allows us to pop a back row. Asset is going to trigger upon being tributed to summon another vanilla from our deck. Here we are going to overlay our 2 dragons into Hikarinaki Dragon King of Atum. Atum detaches, summoning the Red Eyes from our deck. And here's where the additional stuff happens. We can eat our Labradorite down to level 5 with the Level Eater in our graveyard, and Shinkuro for a level 6 using 5 and 1. What I like to go for is Underground Arachnid, which is going to explosively get rid of your opponent's front row, and it can even get rid of monsters that cannot be destroyed. Now, Labradorite is a Dark Tuner, and Level Eater is an insect, which fulfills the requirements for Underground Arachnid. So at this point, you can already start getting rid of a monster on your opponent's side. Next up, Red Eyes brings back the Labradorite. We're going to eat off the Labradorite once again to level 5, and Shinkuro for another Underground Arachnid. Now the second Arachnid can use its effect again to absorb one of our opponent's monsters. Next up, we can overlay our 2 Arachnids for Constellar Ptolemy M7. And at this point onwards, it's just very standard, bounce the Red Eyes. If you have the Wattail in your hand, like I mentioned in a previous video, you can banish the Atum. If not, you would Gaia charge over the Atum. Red Eyes brings back the Wattail, and that's exact game. You can put a bit of additional damage on board by summoning the Level Eater, eating off either Wattail or Red Eyes. It doesn't really matter. For 600 extra damage, or maybe they still have a monster with very low attack or defense for you to run over. Additionally, if you have the extra deck space, at this point we could bring back Labradorite once again, eat off the Labradorite, summon the 3rd Underground Arachnid to absorb a 3rd monster. This is 7/9 on board, but it doesn't matter because we can bring back the Level Eater for an additional 600 damage whenever we want to. And this is a very good example of the type of things Level Eater opened up. Now of course, Level Eater is much easier to get to the graveyard when Mathematician was still at 3. which we do not have right now, which is one of the main reasons I dropped the deck and switched to a new one. Level Eater also brought the Dragon Rulers down to level 6 for easy access to a tomb. The Level Eater also provided tribute fodder, so if we did not have a Tefnut or an asset, if we opened Su or a level 6 vanilla, we could still make the tomb and start looping underground arachnids. Level Eater also brought things down to level 5 for Volcasaurus place, or if we brought the Wattail down to a level 5 light, we had access to the Pleiades place. Now, under very specific conditions, heretics can OTK using as little as 2 cards, but this does require some setup, and that is the Labradorite in the graveyard. The Labradorite would most likely be in the graveyard already if this is mid or late game. However, it could also be in the graveyard early game if you happen to do something such as Dragon Shrine it there, which was a very common play for Dragon Ruler reliant heretic builds. Now, of course, I did say that I'm not going to go into such Dragon Ruler combos until maybe they get off the ban list, which could be never, which is why I'm not doing it right now. But let's just start off the combo. We have the Labradorite in the graveyard, and we can OTK with just a Dragard and a Tefnut. Now, a Debris Dragon and a Tefnut would be the more popular combo, but again, that involves Dragon Rulers. So to start things off, we're going to special the Tefnut, normal the Dragard. When you normal summon Dragard, you can special summon the Labradorite back from your graveyard. We are going to overlay our 2 6s for Heretic Dragon King of Aton. We're going to detach the Labradorite to special summon Red Eyes Darkness Metal from the deck. Red Eyes Darkness Metal is going to special summon Labradorite from the graveyard. Here we can synchro our 6 and our 4 for a Trident Dragon. Now here, depending on how many things you have to pop, maybe you had 2 spell and trap cards you could pop for the Trident Dragon, in which case we would not need to pop our monsters. But if we did not, we could also pop our monsters. Trident Dragon is 3000 attacks 3 times, so he's 9000 damage by himself. If we could fulfill Trident Dragon's pops with spell and traps, that's even better, because what that allows us to do is put another 2/6 damage with piercing, so we are already on 11,600 damage with a main phase 2 Gust of Max even for an additional 2000. Welcome back to another 3-card Heretic OTK. Now this one is going to be utilizing rank 8s within the combo. So our hand is fairly generic, Tefnut Asset Su. However, what is important for this combo is we must have access to the asset, since the asset is what makes us the rank 8s. So again, we're going to be OTKing through stuff, so pretty generic hand. If they have a monster, special the Tefnut. If they don't have a monster, normal the asset. But so pretty standard. So we're going to tribute the Tefnut for Su. Tefnut special summons a level 6 vanilla. Next up, if they have some back rows to pop, Su can tribute our asset to pop a back row. Asset is going to trigger, and here is where we're going to summon something different. So we're going to summon the level 8 ball, the Heretic Ball, Next up, we overlay our 6s for Heretic Dragon King of Atom. Detach for Atom, doesn't really matter what you detach unless the asset is under the Atom. We're gonna summon our 0/0 Red Eyes in attack mode for this. And that is actually very important because we won't be bouncing the Red Eyes in this combo. Red Eyes will bring back Heretic Dragon of Iset. Iset's effect copies any vanilla dragon we got copies the level. We can make Iset become level 8, same as the ball. Next up, we're going to overlay our 2 8s for number 107 Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon, and then we're going to Gaia Charger over the Atom. And enter the battle phase. Now, Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Dragon, you can detach one in the battle phase to negate the effects of all monsters on the field. So Gaia Dragon will lose its piercing, but number 107 will also restore all monsters on the field to their original attack. That means our 0/0 Red Eyes is going to regain its 2/8 attack. And here's where all the damage comes from. This is over 8,000, 8,400 to be precise. And this OTK is especially useful when you're up against something with a mandatory effect that happens when it is destroyed by battle, for example. So, say if you're versing Madolches, say a Major Lane on the field. Now, the Major Lane, when it's destroyed, is going to have a mandatory effect to shuffle itself back into the deck. And that will trigger 107's second effect, which gives him 1,000 additional attack and an additional attack. So this could OTK over one monster. Now this is also a very good OTK over something like Tragodia, if their hand size is a reasonable amount. And that means they didn't max it into the Tragodia pretty much. This time we're going to be playing with Synchros instead of Exceeds, specifically going to be talking about and demonstrating the capabilities of in this is our Ultimate Zoken. So at first glance, the combo starters are very simple, and that is our 3 Heretics opening. However, to fulfill Ultimaya's condition to activate its effect, we do need to set spell and traps. So here we're going to be opening 2 spell and traps as well. And these could be any spell and traps. They could be convocations, they could be upstart goblins, And upstart is alright in this deck since the main goal is not to OTK but to continuously put pressure on the board and hopefully lock down. So to start this combo off, we're going to normal summon our asset, tribute it off, special summon the Neptune. Asset is going to trigger summoning our Labradorite. Now it has to be Labradorite and not anything else, since we do need a level 6 tuner to summon the Ultimaya. Next up, we're going to tribute off our asset for Su. Our Neptet for Su. And that's going to grab us the Heretic Sun Dragon Overlord, or I just like to call it the Ball. Now at this point, we're going to Synchro, but it's not a Synchro. Our 6 and our 6 for the level 0 Ultimaya token. Here we're going to set our first spell and trap, which triggers Ultimaya to summon a level 7 or level 8 dragon Synchro from an extra deck. We can summon Livestream Dragon. Now Livestream Dragon is a level 8 tuner. So since we have a level 8 tuner and a level 8 non-tuner, we can then go ahead and summon our second Ultimaya token. Here we can set our second spell or trap to summon something that would protect this field until the next turn. Now here we can do multiple things. We can summon Stardust Spark Dragon if one of our sets is something such as Dragon's Bind. Now Spark Bind is going to stop a lot of things while letting us play our own game, since Ultimaya token can directly summon things bigger than 2/5, which usually cannot be done unless you're playing fusion or ritual based deck. So this is going to be extremely powerful against decks that rely on Exceed or Synchro summoning, since they usually have to go through very small monsters to get to their boss monsters. And next turn we could if we top deck any spell and trap card, we can set it, which will trigger both our Ultimayas, allowing us to summon stuff that's bigger than 2/5. So we could summon our Michael, we could summon our Ignista, for example, to generate a lot of pressure and hopefully OTK our opponents. Now alternatively, if we open Vanity's Emptiness instead of Spark Dragon, we could also go for a Void Ogre turn 1. Or maybe if we were unfortunate and our sets are all bluffs, Void Ogre is definitely a strong go-to monster, as is Beals. Now even if our additional monster is removed, the Ultimayas are still Dragon Synchros and they will protect each other from battle and targeting effects. Now rewinding a bit to this point, when we have our level 8 Synchro tuner and our level 8 non-tuner, we could also summon something such as the newly released Bishbalkan, which makes this video not totally historically accurate, if you would like, but I might as well go over it since it is only different by one step. Now Bishbalkan, you can summon. It's not ideal since you will only be flooding both players' side of the field with 3 tokens when you activate his effect, which does not completely lock out Exceed summoning. But what is very good for Bishbalkan summoning tokens to your opponent's side of the field is, say for example you're versing Burning Abyss player. Now the tokens is going to be able to cause all of their Burning Abyss monsters to self-destruct, making this play fairly strong in that specific matchup. So that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed it.